Markets, broader markets doing better. It is our birthday week as we enter our 25th year, and this entire week we have been speaking to a whole host of top managements in India Inc. Let's now focus on one particular company, Narayana Health, which is in focus from the hospital space. The stock has gained more than 60% this year. And the Indian healthcare space itself has seen a strong rise in private equity investments. To discuss this and more about the business, we have Viren Shetty, who's the Executive Vice Chairman of Narayana Health, who's joining in. Viren, hi, welcome to the show. And thanks for being with us from the time you all got listed to now and apprising us of all of the details with regards to the hospital business. Just wanted to start by, in fact, asking you about 2023. It's been a record year for hospitals, not only in terms of the financials, but the kind of investments which have flown in from a private equity standpoint. What is your sense in terms of what has changed this year when it comes to hospitals? And are those statistics here to stay?
Fundamentally, this is a massive reflection of the demand that exists. As Indians, we don't have a lot of options when it comes to getting very high quality healthcare. And so you see a bit of a crowding effect where the highest quality of healthcare being offered at very few facilities at a price that most people can afford. And so the hospital occupancies, the numbers that you're seeing is a reflection of that. Now, in terms of the optimism going forward for investment, it's just our reinforced belief that people value their health. They are buying health insurance. They value the increased benefit that comes from going to accredited healthcare operators. And so we have to invest to meet that demand. But whatever that has been announced, it will only be a little bit of a drop in the bucket. There's still a huge amount that has to be done on the public sector, large number of doctors and nurses that need to be trained, but we're all doing our part.
All right. You are doing your part, and at the same time, you're creating wealth for investors and a lot of goodwill from society as well. Viren, I wanted your thoughts on the operational parameters as we see them right now. You've seen your margins improve consistently. Now they're at around that 23.5% mark. Where do those parameters stand as of now? And what does the second half of this year look like from a margin, average revenue per occupied bed and occupancy perspective?
So we are entering into Q3, which is a festive season, both in India and overseas. And what we've seen consistently over the past number of years, people tend to delay their elective procedures during this time. So volumes have dropped for us and for all healthcare groups across the country. It picks up after January. So October to December is generally a weaker quarter in terms of footfalls. So the margins will obviously see some compression because ours is a business that depends a lot on operating leverage. We manage very high fixed cost, huge amount of staffing, huge amount of overhead infrastructure, which if we don't get the volumes, you're not going to see. Q4 is where things pick up, and then we expect things to normalize throughout the year.
Okay. Well, traditionally, Viren, in the past, you've mentioned that international patients is not really a very big focus for Narayana. But we are seeing a huge amount of demand come through, whether it's oncology, whether it's transplants, critical and high-end complex surgeries. Is that a space that you're probably looking at closely now simply because of the kind of demand and queries that you might be getting? What is it as a percentage of sales and what is the growth that you're anticipating?
As of today, it is 8% of our sales. It used to be 11% prior to the pandemic. And at 8%, it is representative of mostly just one country, which is Bangladesh, that is building up a large number of hospitals of their own in Dhaka, in Chittagong, in Sylhet. And so when that comes up, people will just not feel the need to travel to undergo the visa process, waiting in airports or traveling outside for healthcare. So healthcare, we believe, is a local phenomena. It's one thing that we want to provide for patients in a local area so they can drive and come to our hospital. So for us, it's a conscious strategic call to de-emphasize working after medical tourism and more focused on domestic patients within a 10-kilometer radius of our hospitals.
All right. Viren, I just wanted your thoughts on, once again, the operational parameters itself. You did say that by the fourth quarter, you will have some numbers normalize. The third quarter is seasonally weak for you. So could you give us a sense of what normalized numbers mean for you in terms of occupancies, average revenue per occupied bed? And at the same time, you have a bunch of new hospitals as well. Is your, Mumbai hospital on track for break-even this year? How has the performance there been?
Depending on the month, the Mumbai hospital does break even from time to time. During the summer holidays, obviously not, because no child wants to get operated on during the holidays. but it is virtually there. The other two hospitals that we run are both in Delhi. Both are more or less at the break even. The hospital we run in East Delhi is profitable. The hospital in Gurugram is nearly there. The outlook that we have going forward for a lot of the hospitals in terms of the occupancy is, on average, we hover between 60 to 65%. It will be lower in Q3, it will be higher in Q4. And that is a number that will keep improving, but except that we're adding more capacity and we're doing a lot more things to make sure that the length of stay comes down. And so what that happens is that occupancy is a target that you never quite reach, because the shorter the length of stay, the more procedures we convert to day care. It's better for the patients that they don't have to spend their time in the hospital. And so the occupancy number doesn't inch up. Rather, we focus a lot on patient volumes. We want a large number of patients to come in through our facility every day.
Okay, all right, Viren, we're going to let you go on that note. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining in on what is a very special day for our channel as well. Thanks very much for taking the time out. We'll take a short break, but up next, we'll get you more on the markets, a lot of stocks and companies lined up, so stay tuned.
CNBC-TV18, embarking on a quarter century of excellence.